Welcome back on the radio to On the Money with Ryan Wheelis. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, just keep clicking along. We keep loading up videos. I'm so glad you and your team are staying really consistent with it, Ryan. The traction that we're getting, the phone calls you're getting, the emails you're getting, please keep asking us your questions. Ryan and his team are happy to help you. You know, nobody really likes the word budget. I don't like the word budget.
Budget sucks.
Thank you.
It sucks.
Nobody likes putting that. Spending plan is a little bit more positive. It's got a better spin to it. What's your spending plan?
Yeah, because we're taught to save, right, Spike? So we kind of call that, your pile of money. You start out with none in life, unless you.
Well, some people inherit.
I did not. So anyway, I started with nothing. I moved to Houston, Texas, with $200 in my checking account to go to flight school in 1999 in a U-Haul truck half full, because I'm optimistic, not pessimistic, half full of used furniture. And it was a small U-Haul truck, by the way, folks. So, but anyway, Spike, I think that there's just a difference when you're trying to save and accumulate money. We call that going up the mountain. Get to the top of the mountain. That's when you've got enough money to finance the ideal lifestyle you want to live in your golden years. And then you start working on coming down the mountain. And the methodology for investing and saving to get you to the top of the mountain is not the same methodology for investing and saving that gets you down the other side of the mountain safely. There's a big mindset shift. So it's just, you got to be mindful on both sides of the mountain of what you're spending.
And that's why I wanted to ask you about some of these categories, if you didn't mind, because maybe they do change a little bit and are different stages.
This one gets everybody. Gets me too, all right? Subscriptions.
Yeah.
Like every year.
Netflix just announced they're going to raise their rates on there, and I think, they get ingrained. You start watching shows or get used to the ease of it, and they're going to up the subscription.
Well, my kids wanted to watch the they're 5 and 7, so Callie was on a girls trip, and I'm playing dad, Mr. Dad, which I love doing, by the way. But they want to hang out on their iPads. I'm like, guys, we're not hanging out on iPads. We're going to have family time. We're going to watch family movies. So we started watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and they'd never seen them.
Which one? Did you start with number one?
Oh yeah, we're going in chronological order. We're not done yet. We've got one more to go. And I had to go get on our TV because we don't have, what do you call it? Cable. We cut that thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But in order to get Pirates of the Caribbean, I had to sign up for a new subscription and then buy the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And then once I'm done with that, I've got to remember to turn that off because I probably won't use it, right? I mean, think about the number of subscriptions that from a business standpoint or personal life standpoint that we start using and stop using at some point and forget about. I mean, just that alone. And it's, it's wasteful.
I had to do it this last 3 or 4 weeks because all of the college football playoff series was on cable streaming. So if you didn't have a service for that, same thing. It was I'll say it was on ESPN. And so if you didn't have that, I wasn't going to be able to watch any of those bowl games that were all on there. So even though a lot of folks have started to cut the cord, and by the way, I'm a big proponent of the digital antennas. I do get a lot of the regular channels for usually when I want to watch a sporting event. Pretty good. And you get a couple of them. They work great around the house, but all of those other subscriptions. So even in retirement, I mean, we've got to do something on the rainy days or the days when our bones are a little achy and we don't want to get out of the house. So, I mean, definitely entertainment is one of them. When it snows, when it rains, when we were saying the windy days.
Hurricane.
And I think I've heard you talk about this before. Do you build in also the vacations? Is that all part of the entertainment category?
Where we start is you have to have food, water, shelter, transportation, utilities, healthcare. What am I missing? Gas for the car, right? Things like that.
Yeah. You basically started with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the bottom is food, water, shelter.
All those things you have to have. And there's a cost for those things. They're not free, nor are they cheap in a lot of ways, right? But let's start with that, because if we can't have that covered, we have no life at all in our golden years. So we start there, and we want to make sure that those necessities are covered from Social Security pension and a personal pension plan, which we can create for you if you don't have a pension, by the way. All right. We want those expenses covered from a guaranteed source. But Spike, we actually want to add in vacations and travel to those non-discretionary expenses because, in my humble opinion, they are non-discretionary. You worked your butt off for 20, 30, 40 years. You put your kids through high school and college. You did without in some years. You did with in some years. And you've gotten to a point where you can retire and live well in your golden years. And you should be able to go out and whatever's on your bucket list, and you better have one, folks. All right. Go check every darn thing on there off. Heck, do it twice. All right. But make sure you do that. Despite a lot of times we actually build the travel into the non-discretionary portion of the plan because, to me, it's non-discretionary. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
So, we call that a retirement income and retirement spending plan. And so, when we do our planning process, which you can access right now, folks, done by my team of certified financial planners who are standing by right now to start building your very own certified financial plan. To get that is easy, by the way. All you have to do is pull out your phone and text the word plan. That's PLAN, plan, to the number 21,000. And yes, you don't have to text a full phone number. You could actually text 21,000. So type in 21,000 into your number line on your cell phone. And then down to the text line, type in the word plan. That goes to my team. We'll reach out to you, gather some information, and my team of certified financial planners will go to work on your very own certified financial plan, which will include a spending and income plan that allows you to go out into the world in your golden years and spend money with confidence, even though the stock market may be down, even though low interest rates may be falling, even though there's a new president in the White House or there's war going on in some part of the world that we don't live in, right? You'll be able to go out and spend money with confidence in your golden years, which I think is important, Spike.
Yeah. Some of the categories, and just as you were saying, our food, our water, our shelter, energy, things like that. But we have things like gasoline, transportation, dining out, restaurants, personal care, health
groceries.
Products. Yeah, groceries.
What's the last time you got out of the grocery store for less than $200?
And I'm usually right around there, and for me currently, it's the two of us. So I mean, that's a midweek stop is somewhere around 150 to 200.
It's crazy, and I eat a lot of grilled chicken. I try not to go to processed foods, so I try to be done grocery shopping by going to the produce section, the butcher and meat section, the chicken and poultry and turkey and all that kind of stuff. And I try to be done there with the caveat of some spices, and some eggs. Go to dairy as well. I try to be done there. And I cannot get out of the grocery store for less than, a family of four for less than $300 or $400 a week. I can't do it, and it's mind-boggling. And so, I think we really have to look at what we're spending on groceries. And the challenge is, Spike, is when you retire, every single day of your life is now Saturday. And when do you go out to dinner? To a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, when we're off duty.
Friday night, Saturday night, that's when we go out to dinner, right? I mean, so
having a sandwich at the turn, in between Tuesday golf,
Exactly. I mean, it's all these things, and they do add up, and you've got to understand that we need to have a plan for the fun stuff too, because I do believe that dining out is fun. I love taking my wife on a date, and I it's my favorite thing to do, by the way. But it's expensive, and you got to plan for it. And it's hard to not make every day becomes Saturday. It's hard not to go out every night of the week, but you could really find yourself in a situation to where you're spending way too much money on meals and entertainment, going out too much. And that's just part of easing into retirement, Spice.
So when a couple is at home and we're going through these different categories of where we spend as the financial advisory team, can you help smooth this conversation for folks?
Whoa, hold on. That has nothing to do with financial advisory. That is called marriage counseling. And Spike, I never knew that when I became a financial advisor and fell in love with this industry, that part of what makes you a good financial advisor is the ability to also be a very good marriage counselor. And it happens because, sometimes the wife won't do without buying the grandkids presents for Christmas. Then sometimes the husband's like, hey, honey, I'm playing golf 4 times a month and I'm not going to, budge off that, right? And you have to work through that stuff. And, the big thing is we don't want people out there spending too much money. We want to be mindful of our expenditures because you are working with a finite amount of resources in an ever-changing environment where costs are always going up, and we've got to make that money last as long as you do.
You can call the phone number right now if you're listening to us on the radio. Get started on your own written, certified financial plan put together by our team of certified financial planners, 844-944-7555. You can also text the word plan to 21000. And as Ryan was talking about, it's not about putting together a budget. It's about a spending plan, showing you positively what you're able to spend every single month in retirement so you can enjoy the lifestyle that you've always wanted to. You've worked hard your entire life. Nobody wants to put together a budget. It's like being on a diet. Let's figure out what you can spend together. But sometimes it starts with a very simple conversation. You got to talk about what's most important to you. Let's help you set up goal-setting lifestyle plans in retirement. Call that phone number, 844-944-7555.